everyone, it's MK. Welcome back to MK Quilts and this week's installment of Tip of the Week. So today I was working on the layout that you're looking at on the screen, and I was just about ready to save this layout and capture a picture of it, an image of it, and save that in my customers folder and possibly post it online as an example of my work. I have a lot of people ask me, Melissa, how do you capture the image and how is it that you post that image online? So I thought I would share that today and make it a tip of the week. So the application that I use is called the Snipping Tool. Most, or actually all Windows devices should have some version of the Snipping Tool. So if I go down into my taskbar, you're going to see that my Snipping Tool is attached to my taskbar. Yours may not because you have not been using the app yet. So what I need you to do on your computer is find your Windows search button. You're going to go over there and you're going to type in the word snip or snipping, and the application should pop up on your search results. What you're going to do is you're going to hit right click on that app and you're going to say pin to taskbar. Now mine right here says unpin from taskbar because mine is already pinned down there. If yours is not, this should say pin to taskbar. You can hit pin to taskbar, and then the next time that you go to use the snipping tool, you won't have to search for it. It'll just be down there at the bottom. Now, before we go over onto the snipping tool, let me just give you a couple of hints that I do while I'm in simulation so that I get a nice clean picture. First thing, if your layout is selected, you're going to see all of the jumps and the start and stop points, and it's going to be very messy. So all you're going to do is make sure that you're in the select button, and you can just click anywhere in the white space and that will deselect your design. The other way that you can do that is just come down here and do the select none button. Okay? Now the next thing is we want to make sure that all of our area and bounds box are turned off. Okay, so normally I do work with the bounds box function, which is that outermost box of any design. So I'm going to want to make sure that that is turned off. I also want to make sure that my area is turned off. I have my area view button assigned to the sidebar, so I'm going to make sure my area is turned off. I'm going to make sure that my crosshairs are out of the way. I just don't want to accidentally get my crosshairs in the picture. So again, to move your crosshairs in simulation, you click on the simulate button, you click, hold, and drag, and I just drug them up here off the screen. Again, back to the select button, and I'm going to click anywhere in the white space and that deselects everything. Now I can capture just the pretty picture of my layout. Okay, here we go. I'm going to open up my snipping tool. That should open up a small window on your monitor. You're going to click New Snip. And you should notice that your screen takes on more of a grayish opaque appearance to it. What you're going to do is you're going to take your mouse and with the little cross symbol, you're going to put it just outside of what you want to capture. Now I'm using a mouse. You can't see that on the screen, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click the left button on my mouse and I'm going to hold and drag. Okay, so I'm going to click, hold, and drag across what I want to appear in my picture. The minute that I let up on my mouse button, again, I just did that. You couldn't see that off screen, but I undepressed my mouse button and voila. Here is the snippet of the design. Okay, now, for those of you who are a little bit more computer savvy, you know that you have something called a clipboard that might be running in your background. Okay, so what has happened when this shows up on your screen, a copy of this has been put in your clipboard. Okay, so I'm really quickly going to transition over to a Microsoft Word document. This is a document that I have started for my customer. Her name is June. This is the layout. I like to keep copies of all my layouts so that I have them for posterity's sake. Also so that I can share the layout with June. So since the snippet is in my clipboard, all I have to do is come over here to my document and do a Control V like Victor on my keyboard, or you can do a right click and do a paste. Now this snippet was too large to fit in this space over here. So all I'm going to do is resize it, make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to delete some of these carriage returns that I don't need, and I'm just going to adjust the text wrapping on this. I'm going to make this a tight text wrapping, and I'm basically what I'm doing right now, you guys, is just fine tuning this picture, putting it on the page exactly where I want it, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill in all of the names of the patterns that I used. That's one thing, you guys, that all of us should get into the habit of doing. When we're posting pictures of things that we create or layouts that we do, we should really give credit where credit is due. Okay, so let me finish this out. That'll just take a couple of seconds, and then I want to give you one more tip about the snipping tool. Okay, so there we go. I have listed all of my pattern names and their designers. Now, I wanted to really quickly mention, for any of those of you who own our Quilt Pattern Indexer piece of software, it's very easy for you to get all of the designer and file name information right from QPI. So here is the file that I was using for my Inside Fit Panto. It's called Feather Swirls B2B. If you right click on that design, there's a couple of things I want you to pay attention to. First of all is the copy file to. If you click on that, you can point yourself at the folder that you're using. So this is how I use QPI to populate my folders so that I can work with them in simulation. Very easy to do that right from QPI. But the other one, if you right click, is the File Information tab. And if you pull up that box, you're going to get all of the information about that design. So if you can't remember, just hop on over to QPI, pull up the design, right click, and there is all of the information that you need that you can then go ahead and list in your document. Now, the last thing that I'd like to say about the snipping tool is that sometimes I actually take a snip of this entire document. Now, if you look up to the top here, I've already given my document a name. Okay, so it's a Word document right now. If I wanted to, I could also save this as a PDF. Many times I will send this to my client so that she can see what designs I'm using, so that she can see the pretty picture. And it's easier if I make that a PDF to send it in email. But I also like to take a snip of this. Okay, now I'm not going to want to do that with all of my carriage returns showing. So if you're in the home area of Word, you can come over here and turn off your carriage returns. Now I'm just going to make sure that my little cursor, do you see my little cursor is beeping there? I'm just going to go ahead and move that cursor all the way to the bottom. All I did there was actually add more carriage returns, okay? I just didn't want them to show. I didn't want that little beeping cursor to show. So I just put it all the way to the bottom and then turned my carriage return button off. Now here we go again. I'm going to go to the snipping tool. I'm going to do a new snip. That will make my screen look this grayish opaque color. I'm going to take my mouse. I'm going to click, hold, and drag over the top of just what I want in my pretty picture. I'm going to release, and there it is. Now, I told you about the clipboard. That is an option to immediately copy this image some other place. But you're also probably going to want to actually save this image. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to do File, Save As. I'm going to make sure I'm in the correct subdirectory, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm also going to look at the file type. Mine is defaulted to JPEG. Yours might not be. So if you just click the drop down box, you can see your different options. I would just make it a JPEG file and then give it a name. I'm going to start typing the name that I previously gave my document file, and there it is right there. I'm going to go ahead and take off the DOC indicator because it's not a doc file now. It's becoming a JPEG file. And now I have saved a snip of the document as a picture. So there's a lot of different options, you guys. What I would do at this point is even upload this picture file into my Google Photos. But we'll save Google Photos for another tip of the week. Okay, you guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope that that was helpful, showing you how you can take a picture of what's on your screen. And that little snipping tool advice, that goes for anything that you have on your screen. What I will close with is telling you that when you're snipping something, let's say off of a website or somebody's picture, just make sure and be mindful of copyright issues. Okay, you guys, that's all I got for you today. Hope that was helpful. And until next time, from my studio to yours, happy quilting. Bye bye.